Hello, Generals. We are back with Ultimate General Civil War. We are prepping the army, or have prepped the army for the Battle of Shiloh. Building up from our last battle, we replaced casualties, used nearly all of our money, and surprisingly left quite a few of our soldiers left over. We've used every officer that we're allowed to use, or can't afford. Take a look at the politics screen. So I bumped up economy, and I think that's it. And then we have used nearly every weapon at our disposal. What we're planning on doing is taking 2 corps into the battle. So first corps is full, with a bunch of well-equipped units, nearly all of 1st and 2nd Division, actually all of 1st and 2nd Division is armed with a rifled weapon of some kind. And then we have a collection of newer units in 3rd Division. Plenty of units here with the idea of trying to get a star. And then 2nd Division, or 2nd Corps, has a mix of rifles and farmers and muskets and that kind of thing. With the intention of deliberately kind of spreading out experienced and green troops so that I have limited control over who gets access to what in this particular battlefield. So I don't want to have any forces getting overwhelmed. Additionally, the ideal is that every division has an artillery unit attached to it, and then a relatively even spread of skirmishers and cav. Additionally, both corps have full supply carts, and we're ready to go. So without further ado, let's jump in. Shiloh is a great big battle. It's the first major battle that you run into, where major is not like, so Bull's Run, you have so many allied units it barely counts. This is the first battle, to my knowledge, where the player's army represents the lion's share of the force. You do have some allied units providing support, but they are not so many. And it's a multi-phase battle, which sort of splits this entire huge battlefield up into chunks. Essentially, we're going to keep on retreating back to this position here, the Pittsburgh Landing. We're going to have 2 engagements on side flanks, and then the camera will open up and reveal the entire battle. I have limited control over who shows up in what part, and it could really burn the player if you get the wrong, assortment of troops. So the historical event, the Union Army was caught kind of by surprise, and the game tries to simulate this, but I mean the human player has plenty of time to get ready. So what we are going to do is prep the army for exactly that situation. Okay, so the positions I've occupied here are intended to place my force in the most defensible terrain, while also screening with skirmishers on the flanks to ensure that they don't sneak through. Let's do one more out here. Shouldn't be needed, but we'll see. I've got 8th Infantry here held in reserve, where I'll be able to kind of redeploy them as needed. I've got 4th Howitzer deployed relatively centrally, but I've noticed when I've played this battle in the past that there's a concentration of Confederate forces generally around this region right here. And so it seems to me advantageous to put the artillery there. This particular seems to be First Corps, First and Second Division, and it's predominantly my rifle-armed troops, which is fine because this is actually kind of a standoff engagement, and having the ability to fire at range will be beneficial. We're going to go ahead and put it on double speed because the Army has to come in over here and has to walk up and all that fun stuff. So we've got no idea where the Confederates are going to come. Essentially, I'm treating this river here as my no man's land, and I don't want them to be able to cross. But I don't see profit in trying to hold anything further south of the river. And I mean, the dream is that they just crush themselves on my line, but we'll see how much that ends up bearing out. And then this force will probably fall back eventually into this U shape, but I don't want them. I don't want the AI being free to put too much attention on my artillery here. What's also frustrating is this portion of the battle, there's no supply wagon. And so I need to be cognizant of, my dude's ability to keep fighting. I really don't know what they think they're going to accomplish. Yeah, so that was cool. That's exactly why I have skirmishers covering my flanks. I don't necessarily feel like it's necessary to have full units in a lot of those positions, but simply having a presence prevents the AI from sneaking something into your rear. Especially in this battle, a number of players have reported that they're winning the overall battle, but because a cav unit sneaks around their position and captures that final flag, they quote unquote lose the fight as a result because they've lost the scenario. And we're getting these messages that make it seem as if like, oh, maybe there's more Confederates here than just a couple of a small patrol. Yeah, no, it's a general attack, guys. Oh, wow. Okay. So we're going to allow the artillery to do its thing. 9th Infantry does seem a little further back, and they kind of are far back. But they're there as kind of a backstop. The hinge around which 4th will eventually be able to maneuver. And I'm going to get reinforcements as well who will come down and occupy some of these support positions too. And then this stuff with woods coming across the river, this is exactly why I've got 8th in reserve as a reinforcing unit, because they're going to make contact with 3rd, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But I want to make sure that combat doesn't last any longer than it absolutely has to. Okay. So parts of our 2nd Corps have arrived as reinforcements, which is great. It's making me a little nervous seeing so many of my rifle-armed troops showing up on this front versus the other side of the battle. But I'm sure we'll be able to make it work. Another cav unit just throwing itself away. Okay, very concerned about how this goes. Oh God. Why? Okay. So, 3rd Infantry's skirmishers managed to hold that off. I'm obviously going to be replacing them, folding them back into their parent unit. But that's exactly what we want that unit to be doing. The howitzers can stay there, though they were a little close for comfort. So we ultimately want to be pulling 4th, I think, back here. We're going to have these units kind of fill that gap. Because that melee is going on a lot longer than I want it to. Okay, you've lost. Suffer in your shame. Okay, we need to get 4th out of there. Yeah, now I'm fine with them charging into melee. That's fine by me. Okay, so as precarious as some of this is, the Union position is largely stabilized. I've got to babysit some of these units to make sure they don't do anything stupid, but for the most part, we're okay. We have enough weight of numbers and enough we're fighting from enough of a covered position that the Confederates are going to be hard-pressed to really make some of these offensives of theirs count. They're absolutely going to make me work for it. Don't mistake a superior tactical position as invulnerability, but we're in a position where they're going to be taking so much more heavy losses to make some of these attacks of theirs count. Oh, geez, really? Interesting. Okay. So I realized that 7th and 3rd have both lost their officers, so I'm replacing them in the front line with 8th and 11th. It's not ideal. Because 11th has reboard farmers, which they're about as good as a Springfield 42. But it does mean that the 2 units up front are supported, and I think that's worthy. These units have also taken some pretty hefty losses. Yeah, awesome. Come on, there's right in front of you. At least we're making these cav units keep honest. Alright. No. 8th is fine. 8th can stay. We're going to move 7th over here. And the reason I'm doing this is because my right wing is, I mean, ostensibly more secure. It's just very hard for someone to attack this position. And so I can trust the, I don't know, NCOs or junior officers running that unit to keep things, you know, under control there. And then I'm moving 7th all the way over here. I haven't figured out what to do with 3rd yet. Probably merge them at 4th. All right, cool. So I fought this particular fight a couple of times, and it's usually a lot cleaner than this. So good on the AI for kind of throwing a curveball at me. Again, they're just very aggressive, which is fine. Make Russell pay for that shit. Whereas here comes Cleburne. I think if they'd done those one right after the other, that would have been a very interesting. All right, tell me you're going to pick the right unit to merge with, please. Man, they're just really gunning for. It's probably because there's the artillery unit there. That's my guess. Okay. So that's the first part. We're going to move to the left flank. Given the number of rifled units I saw on the one flank, I am a little nervous about what's going to be over here. And I'm not terribly worried about actually holding any of these flags. None of these things really actually matter. Okay. Palmettos, you guys can hang on over there. That's fine. 42s. Okay. Farmers, get up front. No. There you go. Okay. So this is actually kind of an interesting mix. 2 units of Lorenz's. We'll go ahead and put them. This is a good position for a rifled unit just to kind of have overwatch. And then what I want to do with the Dragoons. This part of the battle gets kind of grindy, and I like to kind of keep them from covering crossing there, but I'll probably have to fall back, which is fine. I don't want them to be out there alone. And then, yeah. Can just kind of leave them on the flank. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is send a screen. This way I can just sort of know when they're coming. And so the skirmishers in this particular instance are not actually meant to do any significant fighting or damage any units or anything like that. It's simply to identify what's coming and where and that kind of thing. I suppose if these 2 units can get an angle on Hodgson's, that'd be great, but I'd imagine it's not going to happen. It's interesting to me that they're not pushing immediately for this flag, but I'm certainly not complaining. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, there's these large units that obviously individually outnumber me significantly, and so I'm trying to hit them from a couple of different sides, from smaller units. I have no expectation that these skirmishers are going to cause any meaningful damage, but the hope is that they're going to keep Gibson busy, and so far that's really kind of working out. He's wasting his fire on, a tiny skirmish unit in the woods. And maybe I can get the morale shocked at some juncture. And then the dream would be to get over there and get that stuff, but that's not likely to happen. But yeah, so that's an offensive of theirs for the time being anyway stalled. I would not call it stopped, but we've prevented them from following through with their offensive and making contact with the main body of the army. All right. I want you to keep an eye on. There's another thrust that comes from this direction. I want them to keep an eye on it. Mm-hmm. They're still actually 6-pounders, so I haven't forgotten to label them correctly, which is always an important thing. So second artillery is 6-pounders. That's kind of the frustrating thing for me with what we've been given for this part of the defense is 2 units of 6-pounders, which is going to keep prevent me from really meaningfully hurting the Confederates before they are basically right on my ass, which is fine. You can work with them, and I do actually like 6-pounders kind of more than I thought I would, but it would certainly be helpful to have, howitzers or 3 inches or something in this fight. And I imagine it's possible we'll get them because you do get some skirmishers or some reinforcements over the course of this part of the fight, but we'll see. They are certainly taking their time, though, so that's nice. I presume it's because the skirmishers kind of are making them nervous. So, yeah, they're running at my skirmisher unit. I'm more than happy for them to do that. By all means, keep running at me. I'll just keep giving ground. Y'all can have this. It's fine. By all means. All right, let's see if we can't occupy a little better cover. 16th is in a pretty great place. See if we can't move 15th up and get them a little better cover. If we're going to be doing a knockdown drag out, I would like to be in the best terrain possible. It seems like that's pretty good. And we'll just happily trade blows. I mean, if they're just going to stand here and shoot, we're winning this fight in terms of firepower. Now, that's probably their second wave coming in, which is going to be somewhere around here. And we don't really have any hope of holding it up. That's not the intent of what I'm doing right now. I'm simply trying to keep them busy. And I mean, hey, if these units who are brand new get some trigger time, that's so much the better. Kills are, just kind of I don't mind them, obviously, but all right, you need to get out of there. Oh, good. Reinforcements, what do we get? So, rookie skirmishers and a proper artillery unit. Excellent. What are the skirmishers going to do? They're going to be okay. How do I get to? Yeah. Oh, can I click on it yet? I guess not. There. Okay. Keep falling back. Yeah. No, please. Be right in the open. That's fine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and fold that skirmisher back in. They've done their job beautifully. They've really done a great job. Oh, man. Is this exposed? No. However, I mean, it kind of is. They may have exposed their extreme left, and if they have, I'm going to punish them for it. So this I can't hold either. This is a thing I definitely can't hold. We'll make them pay for it. We'll keep them busy. But yeah, I think it's reasonable to do our damage and try and fall back ASAP. We just don't have enough bodies to hold this up. All right. See how lucky we can get. But yeah, if they're just going to stand there in the open, I'm more than willing to remind them why that was a mistake. Okay. Hey, no. Stand there. You're good. Hang out. I need you to kind of almost be line infantry for a bit. Yep. Oh, gosh. That's a lot of dudes. Stay. Don't move. Oh, goodness. Okay. Wow. Fall back. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can hold back those kind of numbers, even with, a great defensive position like I've got. Which is fine. We're going to milk it for kills, and then that'll be enough. All right, dudes, seriously, just hang out. Like, just chill there. You're going to be fine. You're going to morale shock them before too long anyway. Don't fucking move. Both of you guys. Chill out. Fire away. All right. So we're gonna do the best we can here to keep these guys honest. I don't imagine I can hold this back, but I can certainly bleed it before I have to fall back. All right, so the defenders are doing their absolute damnedest. There's only so much they can do against those kind of numbers, but it is not going unnoticed. Now, the Confederacy's willingness to help me by standing in the water is, also appreciated. Actually, there's not a lot of time left in this fight, and I do want to keep pestering these cannon. Just keep giving ground if you have to. Alright. Well, alright. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, let them have the field. I don't care about that. Fall back. Target priority, gents. Yeah. Maybe? Maybe I can secure this. Stay back. Yeah, okay. These guys are exhausted, and rightfully so, are retreating from the fight, and that's absolutely fair. I don't have the resources to support this push like I'd like to. We got one cannon. I'm going to call it a victory. I'm going to fold these back into their parent unit. See if the dragoons can't have some fun. Okay. So they're not gonna turn our flank, which was my big concern. They can have the flag, but they're not gonna turn our flank. More. You're fine too. Go back. You've earned it. So, I get it. They're exhausted. That's fine. But you reload much faster than these cannons do, and they're definitely morale shocked. So we got to keep pushing. I know it's... Oh, fuck. What are you doing? Come on. Oh. I know skirmishers are really good, but Jesus, the amount of babysitting they require sometimes is mind-boggling. Okay, keep it up. Keep it up. You'll get to rest here in a second, I swear. You get in there too. I need every gun that I can get. Screw it. There. Okay. So now the battlefield explodes in terms of size to its full scope. And they are telling us to fall back to this position, which makes a degree of sense. And then they'll proceed towards Pittsburgh Landing. All right, cool. Now, they're worried about our flanks getting overrun. My army is certainly worse for wear. Like, definitely, we've taken some pretty key losses. But I think we're doing okay. Let me take a look. Pause on initial orders. Because there's a bunch of stuff that's just way the hell exposed. All right. Go back. It would appear that they've kind of given up the effort over here. And so now we need to kind of get back to the... I want to essentially kind of keep what I got going on over here and then utilize this and the main position here as a fighting place. I don't really like getting stuck too much in here. Is because there's not really a great, like, obvious definitive line. I could see fighting in here and keeping the Confederates kind of bottled up in this region. But let's ride that artillery down. My guys are exhausted, I get it. But that's a whole battery. I can't just let it go. And oh yeah, we got reinforcements too. Okay, so these guys have farmers. I don't think I can rely on them too much for the front line, but wouldn't hurt. So just put them there. You are absolutely needed on the front, Mr. Meager. All right. This doesn't seem like that's where I'm clicking, but okay. And if the AI would like to continue attacking towards Shiloh Church, they are free to do so. We would happily oblige. That does not appear to be the direction that your target is moving in. And I am, again, 100% sympathetic to the fact that you are exhausted. I absolutely get it. Okay. Keep shooting. You'll get plenty of rest, and I'll even refill your ammo later on. Oh, here you go. Good job, guys. All right. Hey, you even rested up some. All right. Look, they were at 300. They're down at $126. You've taken some losses, but not nearly as bad as you've given. Be proud of your work that you've done. All right. Seriously, merge. Where? There. Okay. I get it. Oh, yeah. Dude. Keep shooting at their general. If we can take him out, that's great. All right, they need a what? Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. They need to merge. I guess we're doing that now. Yeah, part of their process probably got cut off when the map moved from one section to the other. That's understandable. Okay, and we have a bunch of gimme troops. So we're going to go ahead and just secure our flank with them. Because the main army's doing fine. Okay. So now the battlefield has kind of zoomed out all the way. What I'm doing is sort of a slow retreat towards the center. And then I'm probing with the skirmishers here to see if maybe I can't find their artillery. I've gotten lucky with the cav to do so down here. I don't know how long that luck's going to hold out, so I am aware that they are very exposed, and I'm inclined to basically just do one salvo and then run away. I kind of would like to get that too, but I feel like that's just kind of pushing it. I am going to draw my line essentially like this. And that's just because that's what I think I can defend. I've got a lot of tired troops and a lot of new troops who I don't know how much I can rely on. And a lot of my experienced soldiers are over here getting hammered. So I do, as much as I do kind of think this is a good defensible terrain, I kind of want to get them out of here. And so I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that window too. All right. You just don't waste the shots yet. If everything gets in place and I haven't found a significant Confederate presence in these woods, or one that I don't think I can push out, I might readjust that line to be maybe along this creek or something. We'll see. Basically, it's going to be a question of what I feel like I can defend. And then we're going to use the cav. And this position needs to fall back soon. I'm rapidly getting to the point where they're going to be overwhelmed. But one good shot into that cav unit, please. Here you go. Good job. All right, get out of there. No, not melee. Just shoot things. Oh, gosh. I mean, you're doing fine, and that's great, but get out of there. Get out. Oh, God, please. Just go, go, go. All right, that's cool. Good job. You found their artillery as well. Go, go, go. All right, come on. Well, there you go. Okay, now you're free. All things considered, that's getting off pretty light as far as I'm concerned. All right. Drive through the gap. All right, so the Union position over there seems still fine, pretty stable. You need to really listen when I tell you to get out of there. All right. Form up in the middle. That's fine.
Okay.
Always defend your artillery, kids. All right, so this is a grind in the woods here. This is Allied troops that are doing most of the fighting at this point, which is fine by me. Okay. So when I played this battle from the Confederate perspective, it's a very proactive battle, and from the Union's perspective, it feels much more like a resource management battle. So we're at the point, maybe halfway through the day one, where the numbers are for the most part even. And I am of the impression that the Confederates cannot take, at this point, the flag. The steam has been taken out of their offense, and unless there is a significant infusion of new troops, or they open a new front somewhere, at this point the lines have stabilized and Union artillery will begin to win out. It's also at this point that I'm beginning to think about, can I turn their flank? Can I, especially here, can I push up and take this line and then turn that line into maybe this line, and then eventually this line? How can I turn this battle on its head, essentially? And how can I conserve my resources? My men, especially. And I'm watching condition, I'm watching morale. Some of my troops are exhausted and need to fall back more. Some of my troops are down an officer. And I got to find a nearby unit for them to fold themselves into. But I'm not terribly concerned about the Confederates kicking me out of the map or off of my position at this point. I feel like, especially with the infusion of these Allied troops, our position is secure enough that they're going to have to initiate some very costly offensive maneuvers to push me out of any of the positions that I'm in, and that's not something that they're positioned to do, especially with this sort of grand battery I've got going on near the Hornet's Nest. The Cav is resting and rearmed and ready to go back out there and hunt cannons, which is exactly what I'm going to have them do. And I've got these Allied units here just continually either keeping the Confederates busy or probing for their flank. I guess you got shot somewhere and you're routing, so when they're finished, they're going to go hunting for a supply wagon. But a lot of these units are small now. A lot of these units are starting to have the wind kind of knocked out of their sails, and a lot of my units are doing fine. There's plenty of casualties. Plenty of units have taken some serious losses. I'm not trying to pretend that these guys aren't getting beat up holding all this territory, but we're giving far worse than we're getting. All right, so my cavalry is ready for another salvo. I am strongly considering between now and the next battle building a second unit of Cav, because I imagine two of these guys together would just be an unstoppable force. And I might upgrade first Cav's guns and then pass the 55s down onto another unit. And now I begin the probe, looking for their flank. Can I turn it? Is it possible? It looks like the answer to this question is yes. To the cost of 22 skirmishers, which I don't feel good about, but I do feel very good about the prospects of kind of forcing all this stuff over here. And they're just going to keep on. All these cannons are going to just start tearing stuff apart. I don't know what the Confederates could do in this position to not just get torn to pieces. And then there's kind of that conversation you have with yourself is how much can I weaken my front line to support my flanking effort? I feel confident I can do that. Now, there's the temptation to fall back because you get two of these gunships, but I feel that the position I'm currently occupying on the battlefield is strong enough that there's not a great deal of impetus for me to fall back. Especially if I'm able to get this to work. That supply wagon. All right. I'm just going to call it a day on that. Like, I'm not kidding when I tell you I want to shoot that. I don't know. Oh. All right, so down here I'm relying on the faster reload rate of their carbines versus the cannons for the Dragoons to morale shock. Bankhead, I'm concerned about Trig, but the line infantry is getting into position rapidly enough that I'm not terribly worried about it. And now I'm definitely not worried about it. And might be able to start doing some of the flank turning on the right, Confederate right as well. So the teeth of the Confederate offense has been, I think, have been pulled. Now, just in case, I'm sending one of the Ranger units back here to guard the flag, just on the off chance that the Confederates can sneak a unit past everything. Here's another charge. They're getting, I don't want to say desperate, but they're getting to the point now where they don't have a lot of other options.
Yeah.
Okay, the counteroffensive is working. We haven't quite knocked out the artillery yet, but once that happens, things are going to start really falling into place. You can see the general shape of the line is the Union is kind of going to be able to push from that perspective. And I think that these guys are doing great. They're doing exactly their job. The farmers are not good long-range weapons, but that's not what I have them there for. Oh, 1 unit down. Excellent. I didn't realize. Okay. In that case, you guys rest up. 9th gets in position. Once we knock out Bankhead, maybe I can take a few pot shots on Johnston, which would be fantastic. They're having a great battle. I'm not terribly inclined to come out of this position. I feel like this is good defensive terrain. I don't want to come out of it. I'll keep the Lorenzes back as support. You're exhausted? Totally reasonable. And good job. Excellent. All right. Go rest up. You're rested, you're rested, you're rested. Take a few minutes. It's 2:54. All right. So that's 2:10. You guys will push forward again at 2:12. Or 2:15 or so. Because I want this. I want that. All right. 2:15s here and there. Not rested up enough. When they get to 50, we'll push. Is that if these are just two undefended artillery units, that's, I mean, oh my goodness. Although, what more do they have to defend with? You know, I wonder that too. Where's that supply wagon? I moved it. So Meager's over here doing his thing. Did you go? Yeah, okay. All right. The flanking force is on the move. And we're still just churning up in the middle here. Let me get that ammo wagon over there. These guys have been doing, they're having a great day. They are having great day. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know how much more Hubbard can take. Just hang out and defend. There you go. Good job. All right, Hubbard's out of the equation as well. Excellent. Let's see if we can't get lucky and get a few shots on Breckenridge, and then I really need to give Dragoons a chance to rest. It was a relatively abortive melee attempt on their part. Excellent. I think, Jesus, these units are starting to fall apart, which is great. I know I probably could push out of here. I just don't think I want to. All right, you're good, man. Just chill for a sec. You too. Excellent work. So now they're kind of in a rock and a hard place. I don't think that they've got... I think they probably still have some artillery down here, but they don't have much in the way of guns left. Their front line is crumbling. Their flanks are gone. We lost a colonel. That sucks. Him. All right. The units that are here are just starting to shatter. It just looks like organized resistance is starting to fail. And then absent an affirmative requirement to defend the church and Pittsburgh Landing being protected, we continue to push them into this sort of disadvantageous terrain. You guys rested, doing good, you've earned it. Beers on me later. Let's get second down there as well. They're doing good work. So they do still have artillery. The artillery units in the Union Army have absolutely earned their paychecks. Oh, goodness. Pretty general attack across the line here. This doesn't really seem like it has any chance of going anywhere. Nor does that, frankly. Okay, so this is sort of the last gasp, I think. Beautiful. Where are they? Oh, okay, Wood. And you're Jackson, I assume. Yep. Very cool. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we definitely do want to push out. Prevent any access to covered terrain. And now we remount, we reload. They need to get supplied again. I was excited about this supply wagon, but those troops are not undefended. we've to a degree, resumed our original positions. Maybe they'll break. Guess not. It's okay. I think that was as bad as having a unit break. Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, no, do the thing. By all means. By all means, hold the core. Or hold those trenches, boys. Good job. Couldn't do it without you. All right. Back on the horses. We're going to see if we can't get those supply wagons. But there is not much of a Confederate army left. Get on? There you go. All right. Maybe that was user error. It was almost certainly user error. So these are Allied troops currently engaged in melee. I'm less concerned about them. And now I'm just going to wait. There is evidently a next day. So I have the opportunity here to replace wounded and killed officers. I don't know if I have... Yeah, I don't know if I can. We can also top off... Nope, we don't have any money. I said we can top off units, but we don't actually have the ability to top off units. They have 2,000 soldiers, so... Yeah, I guess this will be fine. So there's not really a great deal of need to utilize a lot of finesse in this phase of the battle. We're just going to kind of sweep the field. I am going to leave my cavalry, the skirmisher units, and the artillery all back at Pittsburgh Landing. I have a suspicion that this is going to move fast enough they can't keep up anyway. Well, the Cav can, but they've had a hard fight. I don't want them to... They don't need to do anything else. But it's not like I'm going to just, click the bottom of the map and then just go. Let me know how that goes for you, Forrest. Oh, damn. If it's at all possible, I'd actually like to capture him. Okay. Well, through the magic of editing, I've probably skipped most of the second day or accelerated the time scale very, very quickly. Very light Union casualties to very heavy Confederate casualties. I'm really happy with the way the battle went. Some of the units really performed exceptionally. Like the 1st Infantry just blew me away. Holy goodness. Some of these things are very expected. We did get a handful of wounded officers. What? No. Oh, this is just day 2. Okay, I know we got at least one officer wounded in the first day. Otherwise, though, a whole bunch of promotions here, which is fantastic. Look at this. From captain all the way to lieutenant colonel. He just bypassed what? Yeah, major altogether, just straight through major. Goodness. So a very good day for the Union. A whole bunch of weapons captured. We'll be able to put together new units with those. Not terribly impressed with the performance of the farmer hunters, but I know they're not a great weapon. So it might be worth throwing some sharps at them and seeing what happens. All right. Hey, I know this is kind of a slog. Thank you for watching. This is Fiasco. I forgot we got U.S. Grant after this battle. That's fantastic. Whole bunch of prisoners as well, which is wonderful. Thanks for watching. This is Fiasco. We just finished the Battle of Shiloh, and we are going to clean up the army in the next video because I've already put you guys through enough as it is. Thank you very much for everything, and this is Fiasco signing out.